Hi, this is Kate from the On Legs Agency and welcome to the Friday session. So we finished our career boot camp yesterday, 4 weeks, myself and Denise Brady of Teamworks Recruitment. And one of the questions that we started the session with yesterday was this: what would you like to be when you grow up? And if you think back to when you were a child, there will have been something that you wanted to be when you grew up. A doctor, a pilot, a ballerina, and there'll be something that you wanted to be. And some way, somehow, life gets in the way. And what happens with life is we put limitations on ourselves. We tell ourselves that that's not possible, that's not plausible, that type of dream isn't for me. And we get downtrodden in that journey at times. We come away from that optimism that we had as a child, and we maybe do things that we feel we need to do, that we feel we should do, or that we feel that we've no choice other than to do. And there are times in life, without a doubt, that we have to do things in order to, pay the bills. That's the reality of life. But during that journey, you should never lose sight of what you want to be when you grow up. And you can do that as a sideline. That might be a part-time course that helps you buy into that dream so that you keep that spark alive. It might just be that you dedicate maybe a bit of time every week to YouTube videos or books or TED Talks on that topic, but something that helps keep that dream alive within you. And what you want to be when you grow up at 5 may be very different to what you want now at 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or at 60. But I bet you this, I bet you there's a theme. I bet you there's a common thread. There'll be something in that child at 5's dream that still exists today, and hopefully maybe you're doing it today. An example would be when I was 5 and again when I was 7. I remember very, very vividly being asked both times. And again at 10, I remember taking it to a whole other level. I wanted to be a trapeze in the circus. I remember going to the circus very, very young and looking up at these amazing women in the sky, flying through the air, jumping from one swing to the other, and I just remember being mesmerised with it. And at age 5, when I was asked, what do you want to be when you grow up, Kate? That's what I said. At about 7 or 8, I was asked the question again, and I can remember that's what I said. I remember being about 10 or 11, trying to remember who I'd have been hanging around with friend-wise at this stage, but I can't remember who it was, but I do remember going down to the circus. The circus came to town and I went down to the circus and I asked, could I audition to be in the circus? I know the ideas of it. Nobody was squashing my dreams. I remember doing handstands and cartwheels and headstands and all you can imagine for this guy in the circus to see could I get a job in the circus. Anyway, it didn't work out. And here I am now with the On Legs Agency, coaching and mentoring and consulting, and on video talking and doing talks and public speaking. And do you know what the connection was for me? I loved a bit of an audience. I got a bit of a high performing. When I saw that person flying through the sky, what that summed up to me was confidence, was the ability that anything was possible, that there was no limitations. And the job that I do as a coach is helping people tap into what they want to do, what they could do, what they will do, tapping back into those possibilities, taking away those doubts. So I might not be flying through the air in a circus tent as a trapeze, good job because my flexibility is like 0, but I am doing that in a way. I'm working with people to help them believe that they can be all they want to be. I'm working with people to tap into, let's take away the restraints. Let's look at the possibilities. I work in that area. So I, in my own way, am what I wanted to be when I grew up. I get that kick, whether it be video, whether it be public speaking, whether it's doing a presentation, in regards to that energy that you get of the audience that I'd imagine that person flying through the air when I was 5 years old got, which is the feeling that I felt. So when I wanted to be a trapeze artist in a circus at 5 years old, what I was saying was, I'd like to do something where possibilities are endless. I'd like to do something where self-belief is, something to be championed. I'd like to do something that brings joy to people's lives and excitement to people's lives, and maybe have an impact on some level. I hope I'm doing that in the job that I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing that in the job that I'm doing. So I'd ask you again, what did you want to be when you were small? What did you want to be when you grew up? What do you want to be now when you grow up? And how can you tap back into that inner child and create some of that magic and that possibility that you had back then in your life now? What would you like to be when you grow up? Happy Friday.